WWE Crown Jewel just went off the air. Roman Reigns has retained the championship belt against LA Knight, and it was a very good show. I'm giving you guys my genuine thoughts on WWE Crown Jewel 2023 right here on More Ango. And if you guys want more breakdowns like this, go ahead and click subscribe. So yeah, Crown Jewel, fun pay-per-view. In terms of in-ring action, I think there was more to desire. I think I'm pretty okay with saying that. But in terms of booking and logical decisions, keeping the stories progressing and evolving, Triple H is doing a very good job of that. I think a lot of people anticipated maybe that LA Knight would walk out champion. I don't think anybody really believed that was the case, but it was WWE's job to make us believe that it was possible. And then you have the people that are complaining. You know, Roman Reigns always needs his family to help. Well, I want to offer you a perspective. Imagine you're a group of bad guys and you have a group. You would look out for one another, right? That's what Roman Reigns and the Bloodline are doing, and I don't think that's ever going to stop. But it's logical, and it makes sense. Is it overdone? Sure, but it makes a lot of sense. And that's what I anticipated. And actually, it doesn't hurt LA Knight. I would have been a lot more upset if LA Knight lost to Roman Reigns clean. But again, the Bloodline are a group of bad guys. They're a family. They help each other out, and that's what we got. Very cool moment. LA Knight hit the BFT on Roman. Roman does a great job selling, by the way. And then Jimmy Uso puts the foot on the rope, and then that kind of leads to a downward spiral for for LA Knight. And obviously it leads to a great moment for Roman Reigns because then he's able to hit a spear and then win the match. Crown Jewel had 7 matches. That's my big complaint, right? I like the 5-match cards. I felt like this show just dragged a little bit. But overall, I thought it was a good show because of the booking. Cody Rhodes defeated Damian Priest, and it made sense, right? Damian Priest had the Judgment Day come out, and then they abandoned him once Jey Uso got involved. So I see something like that unfolding. There's obviously layers to the Judgment Day and the fall of Judgment Day. I think it's going to prepare Damian Priest for a really big babyface run. But I love the fact that match, Cody wins, obviously, which makes a lot of sense as to why. And it falls in line a lot with my predictions. But I love the fact that, like, even on a pay-per-view, WWE is continuing the small details. And that was something I noticed. Damian Priest was kind of angry with the Judgment Day leaving him. So then that was really that was a cool thing. I feel like, it's another little piece of the story. I don't think Damian Priest will ever have successfully cash in Money in the Bank. I don't think that's the way he needs to become a world champion in the WWE. Quite frankly, if I'm being completely honest too, earlier in the night, Sami Zayn stole Damian Priest's cash in. He robbed him of his opportunity because WWE had a very good match between Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre lost clean. After Drew McIntyre was pinned, Sami Zayn ends up stealing the briefcase from Damian Priest as he's about to cash in. So he walks down, he's getting ready to cash in. Sami Zayn's in a hoodie, reveals himself, and he beats up Damian Priest and steals the briefcase. And it got a massive pop. So when I look at the Judgment Day, right, like I see there's a storyline being in the works. The Judgment Day really wasn't there for Damian Priest this time. It's interesting. It's interesting that Finn, JD McDonagh, and Dom Mysterio all kind of ran away. They were getting chased down, obviously, by Jey Uso. But it's like those small little elements that keep the story going. I think it's going to propel Damian Priest. And kind of going back to that World Heavyweight Championship match, just awesome stuff. Drew McIntyre and Seth were great. I don't know how I feel about Seth constantly holding this championship. At some point, I do want to see him drop the belt. I don't know what their plan is, and I hope they have a plan because it looks like they have one. Very clearly, it looks like they have a plan. But I also like the continuation. Drew McIntyre loses, and then as he loses, he walks straight to the back and he goes and, he's like chilling backstage and he's just angry. He's upset. And as he's upset, Rhea Ripley kind of looks at him. It's kind of like a I told you so moment. So WWE is continuing this evolved storyline, this slow burn of Drew McIntyre fully turning heel. And it's just like, I kind of wish he just snapped and turned heel and then won the match. But again, I'm here for the ride. That's what I'm noticing right now with WWE TV. It's like little by little, you just got to keep watching. And there's like these little things that keep you going. WWE is all about patience. Wrestling fans aren't patient. I can understand why some of these things don't attract wrestling fans. But for me personally, it's not that much time to watch an episode of Raw or SmackDown per week. I'll just keep watching and watching. And then really the main important thing is that WWE just has strong payoffs. That's the big thing here. Even like Logan Paul versus Rey Mysterio. Santos Escobar is the reason why Rey Mysterio lost. And it's like a detail that nobody's paying attention to. So again, it's like these little small things that they're doing each week that is getting you intrigued by like, are they teasing a heel turn? And it kind of seems that way, right? Then you have another small little detail that is so massive in the grand scheme of things. Io Sky almost lost her belt because of Bayley. Kairi Sane pops out looking like a complete badass, comes out, helps Io Sky win, and in the ring, Io Sky and Kairi Sane are celebrating together. The camera cuts to Bayley, and she's like kind of in disgust. So now I have to watch SmackDown to see what they're going to do with Kairi Sane and Io Sky and Bayley. Which then gets me excited because there's talks of more Joshi wrestlers possibly coming to WWE. I'm going to talk about that on my main channel. But like WWE got some sort of plan here. They're cooking up something, and I'm just like actually intrigued by it. You know what I mean? I think overall the night was a good night, especially when it comes to booking and stuff like that. I don't really see an issue with the booking. If there's one thing perhaps I would have left out, it was the Miz TV segment. Not that the segment was like terrible, you know what I mean? It's just, it was kind of pointless in a sense. But even that too, I mean, it's whatever. You got to take a break in between stuff or whatever. But like if you just look at every match on the card, there was some sort of little details that kind of propel you to new heights in terms of stories. Like there's something that's going to come out of every one of these matches. The only thing that really seemed certain was Rhea Ripley winning the Fatal 5-Way match. Like I don't know which direction they go with Rhea after the fact, but even that was a fun match. It was a great match. You know, in Saudi Arabia, WWE had really good women's matches. And, you know, I think for WWE having these types of matches and these types of stories, I think I've gotten to a point where like I enjoy the show more because of the storytelling and like the character progression and like the overall decisions that they're making versus the physical matches. Like the Fatal 5-Way women's match was great. Io Sky and Bianca Belair was a great match, but the crowd wasn't into it. You know, I know the crowd's not into it. It's a long show. Maybe they're burned out. I don't know. Not everybody in Saudi Arabia knew who Kairi Sane was. But like overall, like as I'm watching it, I'm not really, yes, the in-ring stuff is important, obviously to a certain extent, but like the ability of selling and cutting promos and evolving your character and these little teases, those things keep me interested. I like to suspend my disbelief for a 3-4 hour show. So if you're looking at it from an in-ring perspective, maybe there's a lot more to desire, but from a booking standpoint, honestly, I thought Crown Jewel was a very good show. I want to know what you guys think. Let me know.